Baby. Hey, baby.
What about?
Oh, baby. Look, he's sweet, handsome.
I'm gonna kick it. I'm gonna kick that ball.
Come here. Come here, baby. Come here, baby. Yeah. Hey, boy, baby. Yeah.
Liberals losing their minds. When they not losing their minds.
Oh, this is a good boy, yeah?
They get a shitload of
This sweet baby. Where's the sweet boy? Hmm? Who's a good boy? Yeah. Yeah. Sweet baby. Doc of the Canada Dry MC. What's up? Oh, you bite buddy. Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes. Yes. We need to hit Kings Mountain this summer. Yeah.
A little bit.
I agree. A little bit.
Roe v. Wade overturned during a period.
Okay, yo, that looks base as fuck.
By a certain YouTuber with a side shape and a douche not that we had to vote for them explicitly to avoid that fate.
That was a good boy, huh?
Pretty much. I mean, look, the Roe overturn happened because Republicans got to name a bunch of judges. And that happens because the Republicans, unlike the Democrats, focused very heavily on the judicial strategy. They played chess while the Democrats played checkers, and now they got the
Wanna play some checkers? Oh my goodness.
Decision tacitly helped this happen by being who they are, by refusing to get anything done, by refusing to make Democrats electable for people. They have ensured.
God forbid something like that were to happen.
Republicans have said straight out. How do you blame them?
It's like, hey,
Said straight out from the start.
should we actually do stuff for people?
The other option, right?
Sounds boring.
According to your electoral list, is to vote for the other side. Well, the other side over the last 50 years has sat on its hands. Not done a damn thing. There have been, I can't even remember how many times. In the last 50 years, I think 5 times that the Democrats have held the presidency, the House, and the Senate. And they could have codified this long ago. But they didn't.
Don't you just love that about the DNC?
Argue that was due to neglect.
They can actually do things, but they just choose not to because it's in their best interest not to do so. Because it works great for social wedge issues. To keep people divided and spread apart on this different type of shit, especially when things like labor and unions, on top of other things, such as actually kind of being awakening to the fucking problems. It's just so fucking convenient. Disgustingly so.
Without really changing anything.
Hey, baby.
And that's the way it works.
Hey, baby.
And that's the way it goes. Doesn't feel right that the 9 judges get to decide how everyone operates in a free country that's not democracy. Abolish the Supreme Court completely, ranked choice voting for all. I don't know about that. I don't really have a problem with the institution of the Supreme Court because it too can be overruled. So we have a system of checks and balances. We've got the executive, we've got the legislative, and we've got the judiciary, right? So there are checks and balances. If the judiciary comes to a decision that is...
I like the idea that the Supreme Court has checks and balances. Like, that's funny. That's a little amusing right now, considering that they essentially just don't. It's not even like full on, like, really anything. Like, I guess there is, but no one bothers to even actually use it. It's like, yeah, I guess the Senate and the House could actually do checks and balances against the judiciary, but are we going to? No, because it's in our best interest to have them there.
Pressure on those people and gain their votes. There have been times in history, I mean, I hate to say this, just go Go watch the movie Lincoln.
It's just like literally an entire fucking game.
Go watch
absurd.
the movie Lincoln, where Lincoln employed every kind of underhanded, overhanded shit under the book. Calling people in for personals, hiring these like political operatives to go and promise things to people, jockeying for position in the Senate and the House, and he got the votes. He was able to get the votes in a deeply divided country to abolish slavery.
Or All the Way, Bryan Cranston as LBJ.
Go watch that movie All the Way. About Lyndon Baines Johnson.
I guess Trump apparently, when he was in office, apparently proposed bombing Mexico to the defense secretary.
It seems like what happens.
Like, oh my god.
People go, we want to do this, and then they do this.
I'm pretty sure he also wanted to use nukes as well, so it's just like, yeah. And honestly, all in all, even though he probably wanted to, the idea that they were actually probably going to happen, not likely. Without the defense secretary or like the fucking military industrial complex will just let that happen. Rocks the boat way too hard. The MIC likes having the boat rocked a little bit as long as it bolsters their coffers. That's why things like the Moab were dropped and shit. Yeah, because that's okay. It's expendable. And even the Democrats are like, oh yes, he's presidential and all this shit because he's doing that, so. It's as if you want to be presidential to the mainstream media and pretty much literally everybody just drop a bunch of fucking bombs. Like a war criminal. Civilians get bonus points.
Minimum wage and they never try it again. They're like, oh, failed.
Because then we could do our fucking heartstring pulling, you know, for the media and all that type of shit. And get people all real nice and amped up. Where did my little Tokapoka go?
She was, did everything in her fucking power along with the company she works for to make sure everybody voted straight blue. Everybody wants to pipe up after the damage has been done. And people like me that piped up before the damage was done get called pariahs, get made pariahs politically.
Oh, there it is.
They get to off-gas. They get to go, oh, Democrat. But, I mean, the Anna Kasparian one was just ridiculous.
Anna Kasparian just being like, I'm fucking done with the Democrats. They're feckless and they're worthless. I mean, honestly, what really kind of annoyed me about that was the fact later, after that, she was just like, no, that's actually about Republicans. And it's like, you know goddamn well that wasn't. When you were making that speech, you were talking about the Democrats at that time. But it's just like, you still gotta, like, rein in. It's like, come on. Like, I was literally half tempted to maybe, like, watch some TYT. You know, maybe. Because of that thing. It's like, I guess not.
Protest isn't something that the government, like, facilitates. It's against you that we're protesting. So you shut up. We don't want your fucking goddamn input on it.
Oh, here.
By the way, both houses of Congress came together to lightning fast push through this judicial protection bill, which means that now you can't go to a judge's house, even though a lot of the same people that are sitting on the court now, like 20 years ago.
Hey, let's all, like, have a bipartisan bill where, you know, protesters can't be protesting at people's homes and shit like that. It's like, literally, what's the point of having a protest, you know, if we can't even protest at the homes of these fucking public officials? Like, it's like, what's the point then, you dipshit? Sukov, hey.
That security's gonna maintain a perimeter and break up any.
What you doing, buddy?
Clear the streets so that the fucking justice.
What you doing, baby?
Go out to eat. This is what I'm talking about, man. I saw somebody on my was using some old thing. This was today or yesterday. I was using some old example of Florida passing a law that protected people if they were in a riot and they ran somebody over, right? Which was ostensibly an anti-protest law.
Oh, I remember that law. In Florida's like, hey, it's okay to literally just run people over casually.
It was a
if they happen to be protesting.
And a Republican Florida legislature.
And it's just like,
Florida governor that stamped it. But how can he even criticize this latest attack on your right to protest? He elected most of the people that passed it. He argued for the election. So that.
I'm just kind of wondering when people are going to eventually just kind of like stop playing it. This is a game.
But surely just turn it into another boondoggle.
I mean, playing the same game over and over again doesn't exactly give you different results.
The
The whole definition of sanity thing.
We're talking other things. What did I say was that?
I was honestly wondering, like, you know, like, when are people going to actually kind of legitimately be motivated enough to potentially look for the, you know, third way at this rate? Because direct action seems like to be the only real best course of action at this point.
Let's be honest.
What's gonna happen to Ukraine? It's gonna be a fucking shithole.
It's gonna be a war-torn shithole. For decades. Most of the people that there you go. Everybody's got plenty of fucking, like, we've got plenty of money. We just, like, Biden pushed through this decoupling of Ukraine aid from COVID aid to make sure that the Ukraine aid passes, because for some reason aid for our own people in the midst of a fucking pandemic is not likely to pass. But this Ukraine shit, we gotta make sure that they're two separate bills so that this one definitely gets passed. $33 billion, and then the Democrats
drink.
trying to up it to 40.
Oh, Daddy made a drink.
Yep.
The Democrats,
Oh, so
the blue,
Did you miss Papa?
yes, he did.
don't have a dime for people here. Don't have a dime.
Try not to drink all that, because I haven't had any of it
Dime for
yet.
the jobless and the homeless.
I've only had like 2 when I was sick in this one.
The ill, just in
No,
general.
I haven't tried it, so I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that I was gonna try
Yeah.
when I had my days
We
off.
got money to
My
come
3 days
from
off, I was gonna try it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna have all of
They
it.
can engage in endless grinding.
Are those your ribs in the fridge?
If you want, we can have them.
I was gonna ask you
Like,
about
even if
one.
you're like, oh, well, America should
Yours or your
help the
dad's?
world. It has a duty to help the world.
Yeah, they're for whoever
Solve
wants them.
world Hunger, like, when Elon, like, floated that 6
Hi,
billion
baby.
solve world hunger, like, the,
He's like, Uncle! What?
whatever, like,
Oh, so good. He's beauty.
yeah, like, whatever international group, like, laid out, like, this is how $1 billion would solve world hunger.
Did you
Why
have fun with your
US
brother
coughed
and
up
sister?
$6 billion for that.
Oh, I bet he did. Look at you, so sweet. You sweet little baby.
They want you to cook.
I'm watching this thing,
Dinah, come here.
about the,
You're gonna go inside if you keep it up.
Or are you just gonna go in now?
I think it's the LFDA?
LFDA.
Yeah. It's like Mormonism.
So I'm
You have as
just.
many wives as you
Oh, Latter-day
want.
Saint shit.
I'm
Yeah.
tired of the
I'm
excuses.
watching something on that. About this guy, his dad was like in his fucking 80s and marrying fucking women and shit like that. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me?
Like, what the fuck?
And then his dad died, and then he became the prophet. And it's like, are you fucking shitting me? What the fuck is this shit?
Oh, my lord.
Proxy war with Russia.
Oh, it just took a little hop.
A lot of them are
What?
just historic.
Little hoppity hop?
I have nothing for you,
This has
dude.
never even happened.
I have nothing for no. Nothing
Aw.
for you.
He just wants loves.
About the
He just wants loves out of you.
that we're
How's our
supporting.
Zooey? Huh? How's our Zooey?
Oh, little one, boy, baby.
How's our
You
Zooey?
know,
Oh.
you pointed out,
Oh,
like,
brother.
tanky.
I'm
They say
leaving
when I'm
Friday night.
speaking now,
Friday?
support for Vladimir
Alright.
Putin.
Oh my
As if you
fucking
can't
God.
repudiate
You haven't
Putin
seen
and
me in
Biden
what, 3
besides.
days? Oh my god!
Oh, it's a baby.
It's sad that, like,
Oh.
no one's heard of
His little tail. Oh.
90 with Afghanistan. Mention Afghanistan, I think you're talking
Oh,
about.
little mini human.
You're not gonna get in
You're
my
talking
fucking
about, like,
lap.
I
Am I
think
your
you're talking
favorite
about
human?
the year they
Huh?
turned 14.
You're
Am I
looking
your
like a
favorite
human.
People don't even like.
He's looking like a little baby
Am I
human
your
just
favorite
standing up.
human?
And the people that push the vote blue.
You're like my fucking dog. Stop.
Effectiveness
You weigh
Aw.
less than my dog, but you do the same thing he does. Literally, if he wants your attention,
He'll just like hop
you
on
will
you.
crawl in your fucking lap. No, and the paw. Always, you
Oh,
have to. You
yeah.
have to be doing something.
Have presided over, like stagnant wages in the United States for 50 some odd years.
Oh, you good baby boy.
The crushing of labor unions.
So I'm gonna go home for
The
Friday,
acceleration
and I'll
of
be home
horrible,
Wednesday.
horrible
Yeah,
raids
I'll be
against
home Wednesday
immigrants. The acceleration of horrible violence done by
Funny.
police.
Because remember I told you
War
I wasn't going to work.
war upon
Mhm.
war.
I didn't go to work.
The
Could call about
disappearing of Americans'
fucking
purchasing power
9:30.
in the real estate
my
market.
store manager,
Look what they've
Hmm.
decided
My
over. Look what their
my upper boss.
strategy
Yeah.
has bought you. Just look at the last 70 years of
Andrew?
history in America.
Yeah, it's
Because I guarantee you, in
What's
every one of those elections,
yeah, you're
there were
supposed to
people
start. He
holding
said,
the
yeah,
same
dude, I'm
thing.
sick.
Lesser
Alright,
evil
I'll
is
make
so
you down.
blue because they're
Okay.
the lesser. Look what voting for that lesser evil has got us.
Got nothing after that.
Nice. That's good shit, at least.
You gotta realize,
It's like you never listen to me.
I am the only person
You
in
never
that
listen to me
place
about denying votes to the
cleans everything that's the way it's supposed to be done.
Yeah.
And if there's anything else that needs to be done that nobody else will do, I'll do it.
Yeah.
Focus on taking back what's been stolen.
Like,
from the
'cause,
American and restoring dignity to
We usually get our shipments on Friday and Saturday, or in between those 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm working that day,
That's impossible.
I'll get the downstairs done and go back and fucking help receive it. And I don't get bitched at all for doing any of that shit.
Nice. That's good
No,
shit.
literally, my boss looks at me. He's like, "Are you?"
Because he knows you at least you shouldn't get done.
No, he's always there. He's like, "Are you gonna come and help us do freight?" I said, "Yeah, when it comes in." If it comes in between the time that I'm doing my stuff at 11 o'clock, I'll leave at 11 if it doesn't come.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna stay an extra hour just to fucking be like, okay, well, yeah, I'm gonna sit here and fucking do what? Twiddle my fucking thumbs and finger up my ass? No.
And they will attack you.
I asked Kyle when I came in on
You take a stand that's anywhere near like
on Saturday.
scooting my fat ass
Say, hey,
down
did Luke
the
come in?
water slide.
He's like, you weren't here? I said,
Walking down the mountain.
no, I left at 11. He's like, oh yeah, I did come in. He's like, oh, fuck. But it didn't come in at 11. It came at like fucking 12.
I'm
Yeah.
close.
Does a candidate for Portland City Council is such an avid bootlicker? They answered a question about how to make the city more affordable. Essentially, more money and power to the Portland Police Bureau.
Did you hear about I-5 this morning? Or I-5 tonight?
Huh.
Fucking a police pursuit ended up on the,
There's my words for them.
one of the bridges.
Uh-huh.
They fucking closed I-5.
Oh, really?
Fucking
crash.
crash.
Oh, damn.
We'll see like, what comes out in the
So a
one.
truck
Has
jackknifed
legit criticism of what comes out
on the
is
bridge,
just,
and
you
they
mad because
updated
we
the
don't like
report
what
at
you do.
6:45. Still closed.
Deal with it.
Oh, damn. I'm sure that backed up a lot of fucking
Oh,
traffic.
dude, it did. I-5 was
And maybe
fucked.
it's true for some
Yeah, and I'm sure it's probably going to be fucked for the rest of the night.
Open to peer pressure.
I'm sure they have it clear by
Comes
now.
to their positions.
They had lanes open, but
I
I
can
don't
speak for
think
me
they
and
had
mine.
many lanes open.
Yeah, definitely not.
But you know, police are gonna take their sweet ass time to fucking.
Oh yeah, they're gonna pretty much take the entire fucking night. It'll be like it's 7 in the morning. They'll finally be like, all right, we're good, guys.
I want a refutation of every single point.
We're gonna be soaking up the hours so we can get him money.
We still need people at work
Hmm.
for every position.
Sounds like our place too.
Explain away the tragic failure that
But it pretty much sounds like everywhere too at this rate.
Will you hear Winco?
and account
Winco
for
shut
the
down the deli
loss
for a week.
Yeah, I heard about that.
that the American people have experienced as a result of
And also, our assistant manager stepped down, and they want to transfer him out of our fucking department. Yeah,
Assistant manager Jacob?
yeah.
What?
I mean, he's still working, but he's just not the assistant anymore.
He stepped down.
Yeah,
Bitch at me, fucking marginalized.
Who the fuck's next?
Make me
In
Probably Armando.
line. Armando?
Yeah.
How stupid I am. I don't
I don't know
care.
if Armando wants to do that.
As soon
He
as
doesn't. He'll do it.
Answered the last 20 minutes.
It's extra money. I mean, it puts more in your paycheck.
I mean, it's not really going to be that much, but I mean, because he didn't even really get paid that much more anyway doing it, so
What about yours? Yours finally get changed?
no. So
No.
Not out here to be
yeah, because the store manager literally does not give a shit. Like, I mean, pretty much every day I'm there, like everyone's always bitching about something different. But, you know, what else is fucking new with that dumb shit?
I told everybody, if he gets fired, I will come back to Safeway.
Yeah.
I will keep my job at Sportsman's. I'll work part-time at Safeway.
Yeah, because honestly, it's just like, it would run
Well, you
so
know
much
we're all
more,
done.
it would be so much more fucking smoother if he just wasn't the head of the whole, like, store operation and
You
shit.
know who should actually be the fucking store manager? Diana.
Well,
She would run it so much better than fucking Mark.
I mean, yeah, but, like, I mean, even then, I mean,
She
it's
still
just,
has her tendencies, but you also gotta realize she's been around the store for a fucking long ass time.
yeah, but, I don't know, I mean, it's just like, she kind of has a lot of the same tendencies as him now at this rate, so it's just like, I mean, maybe, but, I mean, if I guess anything would be better than his ass, so,
She probably wouldn't harp on the fucking employees.
not as much, you know, so, there'd probably be that at least.
I heard that April left.
Yeah, I haven't seen her in there in a while.
Good, she need to get the fuck out of here.
Provide people a baseline. I don't care how woke you get.
I know that,
I'm
fucking,
trying to downplay any of those gains. That's one of the positive things.
they've been having, like, some new different PICs getting trained up and shit, because I've been seeing a few other people I haven't seen there. They've been, kind of doing their thing, training them and shit. Which,
PIC Mark, he left.
yeah, I haven't seen him anymore.
He left. Justin had to step in for fucking PIC. I'm just like,
Yeah, I've noticed that.
not to sound like a dickhead, I didn't like him being a
I gotta
PIC.
think about this.
Because he barely fucking did anything.
I mean, he is, I guess, pretty much relatively the same, I suppose. But, you know,
He never did anything. Every time I saw him, he was sitting in the fucking office doing fucking nothing.
I mean, I don't know what he does, so it's not really something I give that much of a shit about.
Well, being a courtesy and being somebody who has to fucking take orders from somebody else, it's like, fuck this.
Yeah, because at that point, you know, you kind of have to rely on him to make sure that, you know what you need to do.
What do you think are going to be the first things to be rescinded once they get you under the boot?
Because if not, you're basically running around with a chicken with your head cut off trying to figure out what the fuck to do, basically.
Well, I
Good.
always found fucking shit to do, but
Yeah.
he's like, well, do it towards the end of the night so we can close the store. I'm just like,
Would you want to do it
throughout
early?
the fucking day?
It's probably better just to get it as soon as possible, just so you don't have to worry about doing that shit later in the evening, so you can close
Well, I
it.
started doing it at 10 o'clock, and he fucking hated it. He's like, oh, you're supposed to be doing this. It's like, no. Trying to get this done,
They're allowed to have a fence.
let me finish it.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you got time for it, fuck it.
I was like, oh, go get cards.
It's not even that big of a deal.
At night.
And also, it's not even that big of a deal to try to be, you know, ringing them all up at night. I mean, not that many people come in.
No fucking safety net.
Oh, well,
Yeah, it's just,
Better go.
it's just more small tedious shit like that gets pretty annoying.
mm-hmm.
This is mostly fucking, like, these, like, fucking expectations that they drop down and just expect it to just, you know, be, you know, like, yep, this is gonna get done. It's like, just, no, it doesn't. And, you know, and trying to also establish these new different changes and stuff, too, and trying to get somebody transfer out of our fucking department where we're already short staffed. It's just like, what, are you
What are they
purposely...
trying to transfer into?
I don't even know. Probably checkers or something. Yeah, which I know for fucking for sure that he would not want to
Oh,
be checking.
Jacob.
Yeah, dude, he'd be done
No.
like that. Like he'd be out. Like, so I don't know if they're literally just doing it as a half-assed way to just like, you know, fucking attempt to get rid of him, because like they never fire people and they always, you know, try to fuck you over basically to make you quit or some shit.
Well, they don't want to fire anybody because they know that they can fucking claim unemployment if you get fired.
Yep. And that makes it even more fucked up, honestly, because if, you know, they claim unemployment, yeah, that actually helps them, but, you know, at least, you know, when it comes to intermediate time, but, of course, they can't it's a lot more harder to do that if you quit or some shit. So,
That's why I walked out.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't quit. I just fucking walked out. That's just
Reagan never
bullshit.
left office.
It's harder to collect unemployment when you get fired, but you still can get it
Yeah.
because you worked more than 6 months.
Right, yeah.
That for all
Well, the fuck, the world keeps going more and more to shit. The daughter of Duterte and the son of a former dictator were elected president of the Philippines on a joint ticket.
Oh, that was harder.
It just isn't possible to get rid of these authoritarian fucks. Yeah, it is.
Oh,
never gonna die, Carl.
There is, but no one likes to talk about it because it's not exactly safe for YouTube.
guess what they found tonight? Found a girl in fucking Hillsborough Park.
In Hillsborough Park?
Like half a day of that. And I'd be
Okay.
Dead.
Damn.
She was 13.
Fucking somehow survived.
Dude, this world's going to
fixing,
fucking shit. Wait.
Tower nuclear power plant.
Yeah, dude, fucking went balls first.
Master of Blocks Revolution with a hint of Minecraft? A lot of Minecraft, yes. Like a lot of Minecraft, yes.
And then run out. Somebody else is too much of a dose.
Because frankly, it's just like, I mean, that's why there needs to be, you know, a lot, like, especially lately, what I've been talking about, because, you know, it's like, there needs to be, like, a massive strong point and a stand made, you know, but it's just that nobody's willing to just fucking, you know, do that type of shit. Of course, the United States enabled the dictator fuck. Of course. The United States props up the dictators of the world. Kind of goes back to that question, like, what was the most fascist from last night? It's just like, and it kind of vindicates my idea that the U.S. is, because look, we literally prop up authoritarianistic fascists left and right, you know, and make sure that, yeah, we bolster them in their political systems and shit. So it looks like it was guisely, you know, done on the merits of the people of that country. Oh, like, well, the Philippines didn't have an American-backed fascist coup. That was just, you know, the good hearts of the Filipino people fucking doing that for themselves. It's like, sure. Sure sounds like crock bullshit. Because I guarantee you, the same type of policies, like a lot of the fascistic, just literal, like, vigilante just gunning down of people and killings just on weird suspicions of things like marijuana or drug use or possessions, just even on the virtue of just suspicion of it, like all this type of shit. And it's just like, I mean, maybe the whole system has failed by that point, and there's only really, like, you know, one option that really truly that, you know, can really be a testament towards, you know, taking a stand against it. But again, no one likes to exactly talk about the details because they want to keep their social medias. So
They cared about something.
I hear people calling for this, like, ridiculous institution. And the reason I call it ridiculous is not because I think it's a bad idea. It's because it's ridiculous to think that voting blue, no matter who, is ever going to get you. Talking about abolishing the
yeah, if the U.S. is currently enabling that in the Philippines, what's to say about Biden and his administration if he's willing to back a literal fascist in the Philippines with a joint ticket of pure nepotism to boot with Duterte's daughter? Like, you had a psycho fucking crazy bitch man, Duterte, Rodrigo Duterte, and then you have his psycho bitch crazy fucking daughter who's now gonna basically be the same thing. It's like, huh? Like, you got her, so you got, like, a crazy psycho-fascistic fucking nepotism, and, you know, old ex, hey, you know, I'm coming back, baby, I'm an old ex-authoritarian leader, baby, let's go. Spore of the father, his father, Rodrigo, or the former dictator, nah. Well, it still does prove the point, because it's just like, if they're willing to support, you know, these type of people, whether formally or otherwise and shit, and make sure that these people and their systems are propped up, I mean, it's like, maybe not directly, but they're still indirectly in support of it, because if it's into their best interests. Did it. The neutral in the election. Probably openly. Quietly, they were probably making sure that those two were going to win. Quietly.
I've seen less and less Ukraine flags using Twitter as a fucking measuring stick is pretty cringe.
Get him, Bandit.
Celebrities.
Little bandito.
Media as if it's some kind of box
Get him, Bandit.
It's like less than 10% of the people in this nation. Especially when you look at multiple audits and all the bot accounts that exist, the Twitter user numbers are inflated beyond that.
What's up, Bandit?
And like, if you look at the actual
Go get him, Sukov.
people on Twitter, they care about sports.
Show him who's big
The
dog.
people that are interactive on Twitter are doing it because they want constant updates on everything.
Oh, you got him! Oh my goodness, Bandit, you big boy. Sukov, what the fuck? Oh my goodness.
Everyone likes sports ball. and you
Get him, Bandit.
the President of Liberia has.
Hey,
I mean,
don't do that.
everybody loves sports ball is the reason that this ping pong match, Democrat versus Republican, has worked.
Oh, Bandito, you sweet baby.
That's the big game that the
Why are you looking at me like I'm gonna help you with anything?
a lot of American people, not just uninformed, real information voters. Talking about like political pundits that convince them that this back and forth is not a game, that it's a working system of governance. Even though it has every aspect of football matches, blind loyalty to the home team, rabid hate against the away team, you know, bitching every once in a while when those pirates change the rules or make a player change on the
Israeli military murdering another part. Of course. Another fascist state doing fascistic things. I mean, pretty typical for Israel, the Zionistic apartheid state. Alright, well, they're killing their reporter. Quick, send them another $500 million.
And yet, people want to put on a serious.
That reporter was going to severely injure those Israelis
They want to sit and talk about how this is-
by harming their reputation. They need to have money to help them with their trauma. You criticizing that? What, are you anti-Semite?
So it's a game that you lose. No matter who loses,
Come on, bruh.
we
Don't
lose.
literally be a Nazi.
No matter who wins on the field, we lose. Man, constant advertising, fucking endorsement deals, and
While we literally act like Nazis.
speaking tours, and all these things. But athletes do this. People that are high up in the fucking shit do this. Politicians do this.
It's like, ugh.
The same shit. They found a
Then I wonder how much money is going to be lobbied to make sure that that stays quiet,
So
especially within American media as well.
which way I'm rooting.
Because I guarantee you, as you know, when this shit does happen, there's a lot of money that suddenly goes boop, gets upticked into a lot of these
Dislike what I'm saying.
like institutions or individuals in government that basically will look at that and be like, all right, well, how much money do you need to make sure that you don't say anything about this? This much? Okay. If anything, how much money can we give you to make sure that you silence people and shut them up when they do that?
Well, right now, all the fruit's dying on the vine. Can't unkill the fruit.
True. Shit, my brain really just wanted to say roof root. It wasn't gonna let me say the word.
Crazy dog.
Refruited a lube. Yeah. Milo never unfruited. Milo still lives with his ex-husband. Are you kidding me, dude? Are you kidding me, though?
Oh, Milo.
So here's the Milo.
Still living with his ex-husband and supposedly straight.
Starts off as a BuzzFeed guy.
It's like, sure.
Then flips the script and becomes this gay conservative guy who hold over people from the middle because, like, oh yeah, look, here's a gay guy who likes the Republicans. The Republicans loved him.
Was it Breitbart that he was on?
Breitbart, yeah.
See about random little things beyond the tube here.
Oh yeah, yeah. He did BuzzFeed. He goes to Breitbart. So from a super left-wing source to a super right-wing source.
Zukoff, what are you doing?
A media icon.
Hey,
Republican.
what are you doing?
Falls from grace. They all fucking throw him to the wolves. And then he shows back up and goes like, you know what? I'm not fucking.
Hey, what you doing, boy?
And they all embrace him again. Well, that hasn't really happened yet. Milo's not doing it. Milo's
Crazy little nut.
on the lips of anybody in this country or
Susan Collins freaks out, literally calls cops over chalk. What the what? Wait, like fucking getting butthurt over chalk?
Republican Senator Susan Collins, who is partially responsible for the overturning of Roe v. Wade, noticed a message near her home in Maine which reads, "Susie, please, Mainers want the Women's Health Protection Act. Vote yes, clean up your mess." Now, we're going to talk about her response in a second, but I just want to give you some context here and why they wrote this message. So this is someone who claimed that anti-choice justices like Brett Kavanaugh and Neil Gorsuch would not overturn Roe v. Wade. How does she know
That's
this?
literally a lie.
Because they told her so. So when she found...
I mean, literally every single time these motherfuckers who pretty much have the power to do literally whatever the fuck they want, and just get away with it, it's like, yeah, they're gonna fucking lie about pretty much anything they say. No matter what. So, like, because essentially whatever actions they actually take, is really what, matters at that point. Because if they say out of their mouth one way to be like, oh yeah, we're going to be, make sure that, we don't touch this, blah, blah, blah. And literally, of course, they will always fucking do that shit. They will literally, like, touch it and start fucking with it, and be like, what, What, you think we're not going to touch it? It's like, well, you said it. It's like, what, you thought, you believed us? Lol. There's definitely happened before. GOP extremist safety speech instead of speech calls them out. Of course. Like, it happens in all sorts of type of different things where it's just like, oh no, I don't like, like, there was one time where a fucking goddamn, somebody had a fucking bumper sticker where it said, I eat ass, I think, and they got a citation by fucking cops over that shit because someone called the cops on them. It's just like, what? Over a goddamn bumper sticker. It's like, literally go fuck yourself. Like, there's plenty of bumper stickers that I don't like that people will be fucking repping and shit, but I literally couldn't give a fuck. Like, I literally don't care. So fucking dumb. Had a Symbols account build. Guess when two-faced fucker like Collins would be kicked out of office. Yeah, if only our country actually did do shit like that.
Did indeed vote to overturn Roe v. Wade, her response was that really, them doing
Huge,
that is
victim got a huge settlement.
with what they told her.
Well, at least they got a
based
settlement.
On her support. Yeah, it's almost like they'll say anything to get a lifetime appointment, and then once they're on, they know that there's nothing that you can do to get them off the court. So,
But
what she
proves the
could
point.
be doing is trying to lead the charge to impeach them, but at a minimum, what she can do right now to really try to right the wrong that she helped to create is support the Democratic Party's efforts to codify Roe v. Wade into law. But she's not going to do that as well. As Forbes
I mean, not even the Democrats are willing to fucking do that shit. They're willing to support pro-life fucking Democrats, running for office in places like in Texas and shit more so than anything. So, like, they have no interest in fucking trying to codify it at all.
Collins will not support a bill to codify abortion rights into federal law when it comes up for a vote next week. This was written last week, by the way. She told reporters Thursday, reiterating her belief that the Women's Health Protection Act goes too far despite the Supreme Court appearing poised to soon overturn Roe v. Wade and let states outlaw abortion. So she was fooled into believing that these far-right theocrats that she voted for wouldn't actually do what we all knew that they would do, and now when she has the opportunity to right the wrong, she's choosing to not do that because bogus reasons. So that's why they wrote this message. Your constituents are telling you, please do the right thing. You created this mess. You put women in this predicament. Now fix it. And she's not doing that. So they sent her that message. And how did she respond? By calling the cops. literally because of chalk on sidewalk. She actually called the police. As Kenny Stansel of Common Dreams explains,
Actual picture of her calling the police.
Susan Collins summoned the cops to her house over the weekend to complain about a sidewalk chalk message urging her to vote for the Women's Health Protection Act, which would codify the...
Oh my god, there's a bunch of chalk that could literally be washed away with rain. That's on my sidewalk. That's actually on the public, road services. Not even, literally my sidewalk. Oh, and it's something that I don't like. Boo. I hate it. Please, cops, do something. It's like, oh my god, you sad fucking bitch. Like, go fucking, eat a cactus bag full of dicks. Just fuck you.
Now,
goddamn wretched bitch.
The U.S. Supreme Court's right-wing majority, something the Maine Republican played a key role in solidifying. Police arrived at Collins' home at 9:20 p.m. on Saturday. The Bangor Daily News reported Monday. The message, which Bangor police spokesperson Wade Betters described as not overtly threatening, said, "Susie, please. Matters want WHPA. Vote yes, clean up your mess." By Monday afternoon, the sidewalk chalk had been washed away. "We are grateful to the Bangor police officers and the city public works employee who responded to the defacement of public property in front of our home," said Collins.
They defaced my property. They defaced the property. They have devalued what the profit value of this real estate home that I own is gonna be worth because of this. Boo. Oh my god, I'm a total corporal and I don't like being called out for it. Help me, daddy officer.
Public property. It was chalk, you gigantic fucking baby. They sell this as...
I mean, it's fucking chalk. Honestly, there could be the most obscene shit, drawn out with chalk, and if you truly do not like it, you want to know what you could do with it? You could fucking wash it away with, a big bucket of water or some shit. Honestly, it's not that hard to get rid of it. I mean, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's chalk. Are you, seriously? You could walk over it, enough times, and it'll eventually fade away. Just start scraping your feet all up on that shit. It'll, smear and fade over time. Oh my god. A GOP snowflake must be a Tuesday. Yep, it is. Quite literally, too.
They use chalk to write on sidewalk, and the reason why it's great is because it washes away, and it's already gone. But you called the police. Okay, did she not think that it was chalk? Did she think that somebody spray painted that in front of her house? I don't understand.
You gotta wash away that chalk with pepper spray. Tease that chalk until it fades away. They should build a replica of her house in Minecraft and spray paint the shit out of it. Why not just her actual house?
Overreaction and felt the need to call the police. What, because they were near your home? I mean, we're seeing public officials across the country get...
They should do what they did in Nancy Pelosi's house and fucking, put, a severed head of a pig and, spray paint a bunch of shit and, douse their lawn in pig's blood.
Their homes. So, I mean, is this the first time it's happened to you? It's just, what a bizarre way to react to this. This is your constituent saying, "Hey, Susan, you fucked up. Fix it." And your response is to freak out and call the cops? I mean, this isn't about you, Susan. This is about the women who you fucked over by voting for anti-choice justices. And,
Which are just going to kill more women in the process, more so than anything.
Are admitting, essentially, that Brett Kavanaugh lied to you. But if he lied about that, what else did he lie about? Are you going to live with the fact, are you going to be comfortable living with the fact, Susan, that you voted for an alleged rapist?
Yeah, she would.
If he lied about Roe, maybe he lied about that too. Is it possible, maybe? Ridiculous. Now, just to remind you how confident Susan Collins was that Brett Kavanaugh would definitely not overturn Roe v. Wade, take a look at how many times she reiterated that she has the utmost confidence in him, that he is going to respect precedent and a woman's right to choose. Take a look.
I do not believe that Brett Kavanaugh will overturn
Precedents are
Roe v.
overturned.
Wade. He noted that Roe had been reaffirmed 19 years later by Planned Parenthood versus Casey, and that it was precedent. He said it should be extremely rare that it be overturned, and it should be an
a rare case like right now.
So you have obviously full confidence.
That's honestly the kind of the wiggle room that they give themselves. Like, they'll never truly, like, be, like, 100% absolutely never. They'll just be, like, very rare exceptionary cases or some shit, or, like, very rare instances, and they'll add in little things like that, because then shit like now can be those rare instances, like, what's being, happening right now for Roe v. Wade. So it's like,
Talked about whether he considered Roe to be settled law. He said that he agreed with what Justice Roberts said at his nomination hearing, in which he said that it was settled law. I could not vote for a judge who had demonstrated hostility to Roe v. Wade because it would indicate a lack of respect for precedent. What Judge
kind of like how he did now, just like the rest of the fucking judges.
Kavanaugh
Curious.
told me, and he's the first Supreme Court
Except for worthy of a recall. Yeah. I don't know if they do or not, but they should.
Not just as a legal doctrine, but it's rooted in our Constitution. And he reveres our Constitution. I asked him, is it sufficient if 5 current sitting justices believe that Roe should be overturned? And he said no. I would not support a nominee who demonstrated hostility to Roe v. Wade, because that would mean to me that their judicial philosophy
just
did
like the
not
current
include
situation,
a
huh?
respect for established decisions. Judge Kavanaugh is the first Supreme Court nominee to express the view that precedent is not merely a practice and tradition, but rooted in Article 3 of our Constitution.
She's been in power since 1997. So 24 fucking years? What the fuck?
Judge Kavanaugh.
Embarrassing. She was the only person in the country who didn't see what we all saw. And when he does what we all told her he would do, then it's surprised Pikachu face. She claims, oh my god, I can't believe that he would do this. Really? You can't believe that he would do this? You can't believe that a Supreme Court justice would lie to get confirmed?
Odd, curious. It's as if that the Supreme Court justices all have a fucking, agenda and a careerist bent fucking narrative behind what they fucking do. Weird. It's just like they are like the rest of them. And they're there for very specific narratives and agendas that they're put in place for, because they're there as puppet string pullers when it comes to a lot of things that, are codified into law or that can be taken out of law.
Being honest with your reactions to this news, I can't not think that you're a stupid person. Like, I have to assume you have a low IQ, because you can't be that naive and be a sitting senator. Like, you should resign.
No, she isn't naive. She knows what she's doing. She's paid to be this way.
Fine, because if you actually cared about your constituents, then you should give them someone who's actually competent with functioning brain cells to represent them, to have that seat. But I mean, this is what we're dealing with. She's probably not the dumbest member of the Senate. In fact, I'm certain she's not the dumbest member of the Senate, but this is what we are dealing with. Absolutely outraged.
I think I'd go to Louis Gohmert, but I don't remember if he's senator or not.
That Brett Kavanaugh would do what we all thought that he would do and knew that
Federal
he would
Democrats
do.
are fucking useless. They should be passing federal protections for abortion and term limits for Supreme Court and retaliation instead of support pro-forced birth candidate. Yep. Exactly.
And then she screeches at the top of her lungs and calls the cops like a Karen when people go to her home and write a chalk message on her sidewalk. What a complete petulant child Susan Collins is. Embarrassing. Pathetic.
Wait up. Yep. That's what she is. A piece of shit beta bitch that is willing to fucking be a corporate lapdog, in the interest of dividing the American people and allow women to die further to exacerbate what social wedge issues when it, it's best convenient for the establishment. Of course. Just like with every other social wedge issue at this point. Here, let's see what our random little shit is on the tube here. Some more Susan Collins fucking calling the cops like a sad little Karen bitch. Of course. Oof. Oof. Man. Why is the country the way it is? Why does it suck? Like, what the fuck? Like, why can't these motherfuckers just be Minecrafted already and just get it over with? Like, why must we all be complacent? This is boo. Let's see. Any other random shit? God, you didn't upload anything today? Boo. Boo. We need to fire up a round of Roblox and egg that the federal courthouse. Yes, that sounds pretty amazing. I mean, that sounds right up my alley. I'll bring party favors. That's kind of a pathetic burp. Boo. Oh. Oh, that sweet little baby. You sweet little baby, being sleepy boy. Oh. Definitely make sure he takes poop later night, because he's got our artillery shell locked and loaded, ready to go at some point. Sweet little baby. Oh, what a goof. What a goofy baby. He just looks like the cutest just round ball right now. Just looking like a little ball. Just too cute. Just too sweet. Oh. I heard that little moan. You sweet baby. Oh, he's just like knocked the fuck out. Sweet little baby just all knocked out. And the four French left-wing parties. I kind of saw that a little bit last night. Didn't actually see the video.
That
Kind of curious.
Really, really interesting.
See a little more about this.
Pretty much never see stuff like this happen, but let's take a look. This is in Reuters. New French left-wing PAC's leader targets 50% of parliamentary seats. So let me explain what's going on here. 4 French left-wing parties united to form a coalition. their system is different than ours. There's a parliamentary system, so you can do these sorts of, coalitions to get together, so you can wield power together.
Honestly, America probably would benefit from
this
that.
This is really interesting how this came about. So let me read you some of this here. This is in Reuters. The de facto leader of a rare pact between France's left-wing party said on Friday he was targeting a 50% share of seats in June's parliamentary elections as he seeks to derail recently re-elected President Emmanuel Macron's reform program. Hard left leader Jean-Luc Mélenchon also said in an interview with France 2 television that if the leftist front won a majority in the election,
if only his name was Jean-Luc Picard,
which he wanted to be prime minister. So, what this guy did, Jean-Luc Mélenchon is like the Bernie of France. He's, the left leader. He barely missed out after the first, he lost in the first round, but he barely lost. He almost surpassed Marine Le Pen in votes. He came up just shy. Now, after he lost, he did actually endorse Macron. And he's like, never Marine Le Pen. She's too extreme. We don't agree with her. Back Macron. But obviously, he had an ace up his sleeve here because he was plotting all along. Let's get Macron in there, and then let's unite the left. It was like the Communist Party.
Something that fucking
Party, and then
maybe Bernie could have done.
And let's create a deal. Unite the left.
And what the left in America should be doing.
Wield power and try to wrestle back control. So, look, he was plotting. And
my boy's scheming.
This might actually work. Earlier, the Socialists, the left's former flagship party, but reduced to a subsidiary role in last month's presidential ballot, confirmed a deal to join the broad coalition pact that the Greens and the Communists had already signed up to. Macron comfortably won a second presidential mandate, but he will need a majority in parliament if he is to push through policies including raising the retirement age to 65 from 62, opposed by both the left and the far right. So that's an instance of the left and the far right joining that. They're based on that, and they're correct. Macron wants to change the retirement age to make people work longer. So he wants to raise it to 65 when it's currently 62. That's the sort of enlightened centrism that pisses me off to no end because...
Hey, I as a neoliberal want to compromise with the right. How about instead of having, 60 day or 60 years, for retirement, how about we just make that 62 and call it good? Because those people want 70 and we want to keep it at 60, so let's compromise at 62. Yeah. It's wow, gross. Man, fuck these people. Fuck libs. That's what you get. This is what happens when you have them they do shit like this.
They want people to work more, and he's like, okay, let me try to facilitate that.
What's up, Radical?
Finished a close third in the first round of the presidential election, and his La France Insoumise LFI party is now for the first time
FMI or whatever.
He said the alliance partners were targeting at least 290 of the 577 seats in the new parliament. They had agreed that under a leftist government, France would not exit the European Union or the Euro, but that executing its election program would take precedence over respecting EU treaties. So, as you can tell, they're Eurosceptic. They want to be more independent. They don't really view themselves as part of, the European Union project, and they think that whatever sort of laws and rules and regulations come from above them are kind of illegitimate, and they want their own sovereignty to be respected more. But obviously, the deal that they cut here is we're not going to officially leave the European Union or the Euro. We're going to stay with that, but we're going to sort of prioritize what we do here more than, listen to them. Quote, call it disobedience or a moratorium. The bottom line is that the will of the French people will be respected, he told France 2. Pollsters' initial projections show Macron's party, which was renamed Renaissance on Thursday, on track to win the June 12th and 19th ballots. But the surveys were carried out before the left-wing alliance was struck and before individual candidates were chosen by each camp for France's 577 constituencies. In recent French legislative ballots, the president's party has always won a majority in parliament. Should the outcome be different this time, Macron would have little choice but to name a prime minister from another party, ushering in what has traditionally been a tense period of cohabitation during which the presidential powers are severely curbed. That's what he's aiming for. That's what Mélenchon is aiming for.
Man, Mélenchon actually is legit, unironically sounding bass. That's why I actually like the French. Because when they see electoralism and the system failed them, they at least, fucking do something about it. Like, so it's like, wow, you know, honestly, you know, they would, you know, France got a lot of flaws, but, you know, their people and their fucking admiralisms actually, like, be like, the sacre bleu, we are changing this, you know, it's like, I mean, I like that, you know, they actually are willing to at least put forth a strategy and go for it. Because, you know, having a coalition, I mean, and getting communist socialist agreements and alike, you know, all together, you know, that's good. I mean, there's nothing really but good out of that. I mean, that's what should be happening here. And having, like, you know, because I guess America can't necessarily, or doesn't have, like, in coalitions, make, like, you know, just a more unified national party or some shit where they all just kind of morph and rebrand as that, you know, while still pretty much being the same things, you know. So it's just like, you know, there needs to be at least some form of that type of idea, you know, kind of set in place, or else at least when it comes to the electoral aspect of things, there isn't going to be any real shot, you know, outside of just go, you know, with local based direct action and local electoralism, and just, you know, hope that at least, you know, statewide and local wide, you know, things actually do legitimately improve. Been doing tons of practice as of late, and tabled, and I've been doing activism galore. Well, there you go. You're walking a walk as much as I'm talking it. I need to start doing more myself, especially in my own workplace, because I ain't the only one that's been bitching about it when it comes to it. Like, everybody at this point is dead ass asking about when wages are supposed to be fucking bumped up, and supposedly they should have been at the beginning of this month, so basically the end of fucking April. And the beginning of this month was quite a while ago. So it's like, where in the fuck are they? Like, because I swear to God, if, like, they aren't this paycheck, I'm literally going to start getting people up and be like, yo, we want to all just, like, do a fucking walkout on the store and then just, like, demand that this motherfucker resign, or give us what the fuck we want and get it, like, now. You know, because, you know, one of those two has to be the fucking options, or if not, this store ain't going to be fucking open. Like, good luck, you know, managing the shit on your own there, bitch. Because we sure shit won't until we get our, you know, actual fucking wages that, you know, at least I know I fucking voted for. So, I mean, unfortunately, it wasn't really many people from our store that went out to try to vote for the contract anyway, which is kind of disheartening, but a majority of everywhere else did. So, I mean, it's not like it ain't alive and well, but, like, we're, like, unfortunately, a little island. We're kind of a little fucking stranded, you know, unfortunately, by this bullshit, and it's, frankly, kind of fucking annoying. Because, like, honestly, like, a lot of these other stores tend to be more prioritized, and, you know, because of, like, how better off they are, so they're able to get, you know, things more efficiently, including, you know, efforts and grievances they may have union-wise, too, so we end up kind of getting a little bit more on the wayside and shit. Plus, we're, like, one of the few shops that just straight up doesn't have a steward, and I've approached multiple different times, but just never been followed up with about it. It's like, don't you, like, you all definitely would want some help to make sure that this place is better. I mean, it's like, come on. I mean, it's getting to be some bullshit. Like, ridiculous bullshit. And I know who the fucking culprit is. We all do. Yeah, at that fucking store. So, it's just like, it's just really, honestly, just about getting rid of them. Because there isn't really, you know, like, any actual, like, viable solution until, you know, unless we want to just eventually be continuing the same bullshit over and over again. Because even when we do walk out, yeah, he might change for like a week, but then he'll just fall right back into the same shit he usually does. And oh wow, what a great oh wow, we just were helped in, you know, so much of that. It's why it needs to be a walkout type of scenario, and basically an ultimatum. Because goddamn, I know this much at least. At least when it comes to locally, there's somebody who might actually oust Schrader, the worthless piece of shit Fecklin fuck, of a congressman for my district, Jamie McGlow Skinner. And she's also endorsed by my union on top of a lot of different legitimately good grassroots organizations like the Sunrise Movement and a few others. So, like, and I actually feel pretty confident because I've seen a lot of different signs for her around here. So, I mean, I don't actually have like the most highest of hopes, I will admit, but I mean, I actually do legit kind of have a confidence that she has a possibility at the very least. So, I mean, here's hoping, I guess.
Mr. Schnoz.
Oh,
Wondering where you're at, Mr. Schnoz.
He was with my friend. Oh, here, let me do this.
Yeah, Mr. Schnoz. No. No, jeez.
Oh, he's stretching.
Go ahead.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, Mr. Schnoz.
This is good.
Yeah, it's a good pups.
Oh, he's a good baby, yes he is. Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, I kind of missed the Schnoz up the butt. Not really, but...
Yeah, I was about to say, do you really miss that? I'm not sure if it matters much. I think the Fed government is a lost cause. I need to double down on state level. Yeah. And local, county, and town level.
You say you're here in Hamilton.
And when it comes to at least anything federal, just make some noise and tell him to go fuck himself. In pretty much every form possible, as far as I'm concerned. So if that means, protesting them, rallying against them, throwing some eggs in Minecraft, wink wink. Yeah, shit like that. Occupying their buildings and demanding, fucking concessions of some form. Shit like that. Because it's obviously a massive in-club, and they have no interest in fucking, make sure that we're a part of whatever fucking shit they got going on in that club. So, let's fuck the club up. Like, let's quit playing nice outside their fucking little glass house and start fucking that shit up. I'll shatter real quick. You know what they say about glass houses. I mean, honestly, I wonder what it'd look like if, like, a bunch of protesters in Portland somehow managed to occupy the fucking federal courthouse. Imagine the shit that would be able to be found for, like, documents and shit like that, and archives and stuff. Probably, like, secret folders of corrupt bullshit and all this other nonsense. Dude, imagine the shit that could be found. Could happen if Roe was overturned. Count me right the fuck in. Yeah, base. Or if the GOP tries to go further. If they try to go further, there unironically probably would be blood in streets. Like, I mean, Roe v. Wade and overturning that's one thing. But if they went further with that shit, it will most certainly be another thing entirely. I mean, and it's just like, if it's going to be another thing entirely at that point, do they really want to go that fucking far? And honestly, I think they do. A part of me thinks that, they want to try to push it, to the limit, because then they can, especially the Supreme Court, could probably enact some sort of, like, special ruling to have, like, some sort of mass crackdown on the public order of things, or whatever the fuck, and do, like, some sort of, like, mass push of law enforcement. And of course, Congress and Senate will be totally okay with, that type of shit, because anything that's related to, like, guns and shit, they're gonna fucking vote yes right away. Because the military-industrial complex makes a lot of money from shit like that. You think it's just, like, bombs and shit that they're fucking, getting benefit from? McConnell wants the federal ban that would lead to all-out skirmishes if they try to force it on Oregon. Yeah. And if there are skirmishes, I ain't about to have, like, those motherfuckers, you know, start hurting people that are actually trying to enact basic fucking human rights protections. Like, I sure as shit ain't. Because, I mean, by proxy, they'd be going after people like me anyway. So, sure as shit ain't gonna be happening with that. Washington, California, most of the Northeast. Yep. Hell, and in places in the South, because there's probably going to be small enclaves of LGBT and women that might legit form up and, like, have, like, their own little community housing situations just so they can be kind of, like, safe in numbers. And, you know, there can be some situations that, you know, escalate because of that type of shit. Like, you have a bunch of, you know, queer-hating motherfuckers and shit, you know, rolling up on, like, a community housing of full of trans and gay people or some shit, and they have, like, a full-on skirmish and shit. Like, dead ass, that could possibly be some shit. We already heavily repressed opposition there. Yeah, I'm just saying, you know, with the people that already do live there. You know, because obviously when it comes to accessing guns, it's not exactly hard either. So yeah, you can imagine a lot of these people in the LGBT and trans people are probably arming up too over there. Just as much as a lot of these other motherfuckers. Again, fuck, I thought GOP wants to go way further. Yeah. That's why I'm willing to go all the way. I'll meet, you know, on their fucking level when it comes to fighting them. I'm like, I'm fine with that. We've had this talk last night. I know you're not exactly on the same level as me when it comes to that idea of fighting them, but I mean, for me, you know, I am willing to, because ain't no way, I know where they fucking stand, and they would be gladly willing to literally, like, ring me up in a tree, like, fucking hang me, you know, like I'm on a cross or some shit on that fucking tree, and just, like, torch me ablaze and just kill me. So, fuck these people. Like, I ain't gonna let them see the light of day if they want to put it down to this fucking level. If they want to play a fire, then I'll come with gasoline then. You know, it's like, let's bring it on, motherfucker. Let people who want to leave, get the fuck out. Yeah. Oh, what? Yeah, seriously. And honestly, you know, it's just like, that needs to be the case, and also have, like, incentivization programs for people that, you know, believe in the same crazy shit, you know, that these states want to fucking enforce, and give them, like, $500 and, like, here's, like, you know, some gas money and, like, you know, a little bit of compensation to get the fuck out of here. Go away. Like, we don't want you here. Because, you know, honestly, if there ends up being, like, some secessionist movement, you know, remember how the first Civil War, you know, started. It wasn't the North that fired the first shot. So I'd say, hey, you know, if that ends up being the case, and there ends up being a second secession movement, and they want to try to have the South rise again for the second time or some shit, I got no qualms of crushing it a second time, and making sure that we go all the fucking way with the idea of Reconstruction, and put the fucking shit to heal once and fucking for all. Like, I got no problem with that. Man, I'd be a proud fucking military union boy fucking enlisting right on the fucking, you know, draft boards if that were to happen. Civil War II, it's like, where do I enlist? It's like, send me to the front lines of Baltimore. I'll be one of the main men on the defense front. I'll push back those Confederate little Yankee Doodle Dixie motherfuckers, you know, out of fucking Baltimore or some shit, those sons of bitches. I don't know why Baltimore out of all places. They would have to have some crazy fucking offensive to push that far. They got lucky once. They sent in a bunch of raiders and airborne troops and fucking surrounded Baltimore. Yeah. But nah, you get the point though. It's like, cause honestly, you know, it's like I'm thinking back. It's like, yeah, if they were willing to fire the first shot on fire the first shot on Sumter, then it's like, yeah, they're, you know, if it were to happen again, and you know, like, the American Union state or some shit. They call it something different besides the Confederacy because they don't want to exactly make it sound too close, you know, to the OG thing. You know, so they probably have like, you know, the America First state or like the, you know, America First, you know, like the United America First states or some shit. I don't fucking. They would name something. It'd be very nationalistic as fuck. And basically, you know, with that, they'll just find different excuses, you know, to essentially fire the first shot, do like, you know, some Gulf of Tonkin incident or some shit, or at least their attempt of it. Like, oh, they did it. And then fucking, you know, just whoop, you know, just like, and, you know, like, be like, yep, you know, we're actually gonna go to war now. And the North did it. Northern aggression. I don't even know where that Northern aggression shit even started. It's like, it literally started with the South firing first. Like, there literally is no such thing as Northern aggression. Like, where did that ever come up? Like, why, like, who let that fucking argument trope fucking, like, you know, be a thing? What happened? Michigan became by far the biggest stakes in the midterms. If Whitmer and Nessel win, abortion remains legal. If they lose, it would be outlawed via draconian 1930s era law. It's unclear what would happen if one wins or the other loses. Lawsuits will likely decide. Oh shit. Damn, Michigan's got, you know, a major fucking, you know, play on its hands. Oof. Eek. Michigan, be wise. Be smart about that. Don't be one of the states that I'd rather see secede, because I don't want to see that. Michigan actually is you know, it's kind of okay. Well, I just realized there actually probably would most certainly be a Civil War II electric boogaloo if there would be secessions, because states like Ohio would definitely probably join them. And that would basically split the original, like, OG America into two different regions. And obviously the OG US is 100% going to want to ensure that it has at least like a landline in between those two regions. So, Waro. Just economically, that already sounds like some bad voodoo. Under Michigan system, the governor and the attorney general can essentially decide if a law is to force or not. Both are elected positions. I mean, obviously, I would assume they are, as they are in most states. It's kind of quiet here. Wisconsin is super unclear. It's determined there by a highly technical issue that will likely be decided in court. Oh my god. You gotta love it. being sarcastic with that. Being sarcastic with that. Sounds horrible. Sounds like a bunch of shit. Pretty much, which law takes effect? The 1985 law that sets the standard at viability, or law from 1849. The law contradict each other, so it can't go in, so both can't go in effect. Oh my god! Wow. So wait, hold on, what the fuck is this? Ben Shapiro. Why leftists don't like facts with Jordan Peterson? Oh my god. Oh my fucking god. A combo. A combo.
I have to say about why don't leftists like facts?
A moment ago about the sort of lack of meaning that people are looking for, particularly young men, and it really is a big thing that young men seem to have lost meaning. Postmodernism killed the scientific rap.
Postmodernism killed the young man. Yeah, I'm Ben Shapiro. The young man has lost their meaning and have let it be, consumed by postmodernism. Yeah, I'm Ben Shapiro.
And the postmodernists have decided to substitute for that a certain utopian vision of the remolding of American society in terms of what they...
Oh, like, okay, wow, we're not even 1 minute in.
Tribal dynamics. And you see this over and over, the radical left pushing its own version of utopianism. Classical liberals have been wrong-footed, I think, by the need for something more fulfilling, which is why classical liberalism always relied on an unspoken assumption that you were going to find meaning in your family, you were going to find meaning in religious community, you were going to find meaning in bettering your social life outside of government. But when
oh my god, how about you can find meaning in literally whatever the fuck you want? Like, honestly, maybe that's, like, kind of at the root of what postmodernists kind of talk about a little bit, is that, like, truly, like, and also, like, existential nihilists especially, like, is mainly, like, hey, honestly, whatever meaning that you want in the world and in your life is dead-ass, like, up to you. It's whatever the fuck you want to make it. Like, so, literally, like, if the meaning of life is just, like, playing some video games and having, like, some gamer bro moments and having some, like, LMG, like, Doritos and Mountain Dew, whatever the fuck, more power to you, bro. Like, if that's what the meaning of life is to you. It's just, like, that's kind of what it's about, Ben. Like, who gives a fuck, you worthless little piss-ass shit. You little shitbag rat that is not even worth the gratitude of being a hate fuck of a little Twinkie toy that you are. Like, oh my god, ugh.
Understanding just dissipated when religion started to fall apart. All that was left was
oh my god, man, we're literally not even a minute in yet still, and I'm already going off on this motherfucker. Oh my god, what have I done with myself? Why did I do this? What am I doing? Oh my god. Did I just, like, want to, like, unleash some angst or something? Like, cause Jesus Christ, like, oh my god. What am I doing? Well, here we are.
with one another. There's not much inspiring there, and I think that's why you see that across the board.
They will literally use everything they can. It's like classical liberal. I'm a libertarian. I'm a centrist. I'm a fence sitter. It's like, what is wrong? Just say
I'm actually a liberal.
Conservative, dog. Just say you're a Republican. It's not.
Hey, honestly, TJ, the Amazing Atheist, I think he's nailed it at this point. Like, conservatives literally hate being called conservative. Like, because people like Tim Pool, Ben Shapiro, like, these sad little pissant little fucks, like these sad little Twinkie little fuckwits, they absolutely vehemently hate the idea of being called conservative, like, fundamentally, despite the fact that that's literally what the fuck they are honestly minimal conservatives. Like, people like Tim Pool most certainly are. People like Ben Shapiro are honestly just fucking fascists. So it's just like, I mean, they honestly, some of them even go further, but, you know, at least for people like Tim Pool and shit, they're just honestly straight up, yeah, just conservative. You know, but they just hate the fucking idea of being called that and just like, actually, I'm just, yeah, like, they want to use literally like anything else under the sun but what they actually are to describe themselves, as long as it's not liberal or like leftist or progressive or woke or whatever the fuck else.
They just cannot, they literally cannot and will not admit that they are actually Republicans. Like, they're so desperate to find anything else.
A drive toward irrationalism, a certain level of romanticism dominating the society to the point where irrationalism is much more prized than...
Oh, like what? You prop up, you worthless little fucking Zionist piece of shit? If that making me leave, like, fucking fantasy, that's all about goddamn fucking, you know, like, pushing its weird, like, mystical fucking bullshit, postmodernist theocracy or irrationalism on the fucking world. Like, fuck you.
Rational point, if you cite data, very often this is now.
Dude, motherfucker will be like, I'm a classical liberal, which means I'm a liberal from the time when, like, people had slaves. Okay? He wants to live in that world. And then he'll turn around and be like, I'm irrational, and my enemies want irrationalism.
Now considered not only impolitic, but damaging and dangerous.
The other thing that...
Oh god, here's Jordan. Oh boy, this is gonna be I feel like this is about to be another one. Oh wow, he actually cleaned up his room. Oh wow, he actually followed one of his rules for once.
And the radical leftists are also very good at this, is that it provides you with a convenient locale for the existence of evil. If you reflexively identify the patriarchy with evil, well, first of all, that's a powerful idea, independent.
Oh my god. Okay. What are you? Well, the word salads have, you know, never changed. That's good to know. Oh my god. Yeah. What the fuck? Why am I doing this to myself? Why am I doing this to myself? Like, yeah, honestly, yeah, there's like a lot of fucking bullshit when it comes to patriarchy. Like, I don't know, like, you can look at countries like Saudi Arabia where they're pretty much the most literalist form of theocratic patriarchy that there is. You stupid shit. Like, and guess what country props them up? The United States. And guess what fucking crazy, you know, batch of extremists happen to be in the U.S.? Fundamentalist Christians. What do they believe? In fucking patriarchy. It's like, it's as if, yeah, it is kind of a powerful thing because it still exists and has an influence in the fucking world, you absolute bing-batted fuck. You fucking drug-addicted, coma-addled piece of dumb shit. Like, go back to fucking Russia, Jordan Peterson, and go back in a fucking medical coma where you belong, you worthless pissant. The world actually was fundamentally better without you there. Ugh.
Disruptive thinker, and what you do in your endless endeavors of being a disruptive thinker is like, look at all of the prior...
His existence, Jordan Peterson's existence, is disruptive to everyone's thinking.
Or dynamics, and instead of saying they're evil, say they're good. It's awesome. Like, dude, you're already admitting that that's what they've been doing this entire time. You don't have anything new to say.
Man, I wish, honestly, like, Russia did their war in Ukraine while Jordan Peterson was, you know, in a coma there, just so he was unable to leave. He would have to stay there just because he would have no way to come back home. My God, I mean, it would kickstart a lot of that shit early, but, you know, hey. I mean, at this rate, considering how much of a failure they've been kind of doing their shit, like, I mean, what difference would it have really made?
For, like, siding with capitalism. Oh, look at me. I'm so brave. I'm being attacked for my good ideas that are disruptive and crazy. Like, capitalism good, communism bad. I'm crying. Patriarchy has been vilified for far too long. It's like, where? What do you mean, how? How has it been fucking vilified? Because a bunch of, like non-binary college freshmen decided to say, like, patriarchy bad? Is that how we vilified it? Like, what the fuck do you mean? It's still a patriarchal system.
it's true. Now, it's not the only truth, and it's not the complete truth, but it's true. The reason it's true is because every hierarchical system tends to degenerate in the direction of power. All hierarchical systems are less than they could be, and that's partly because of the possibility that power and deceit will corrupt them, but also partly because we're willfully blind and deceitful in our own personal lives. And so when you tell young people that the cause of the trouble they see around them...
Why do you have everything be a goddamn world, like a chicken Caesar fucking word salad, like fucking mix of goddamn Parmesan and fucking like Thousand Island dressing salad, you worthless son of a bitch? Like, make a fucking point that actually is cohesive. Like, oh, well, you know, the leftists, you know, go so much against the power of, you know, patriarchy, but, like, you know, it tends to be, you know, undermined by the powers of corruption and influence, and when those influences and corruption and power, you know, the blah, 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 like, what the fuck? Oh, my God. It really makes me wonder how people actually take him seriously.
Even the disquiet in their own heart is the malevolent inadequacy of their society. That rings true, and they don't hear the rest of the story, you know, and it's the rest of the story that I've been trying to tell. They don't hear the story that, yeah, don't forget about the evil and corruption that exists in your own heart.
Jordan Peterson is the best at fucking...
You gotta look at the corruption and evil that's in your own heart. Shut the fuck up. Oh my God. Let me guess what that is. Like, having a little vice and sin occasionally in your life. Like, maybe having, like, a little toke of weed, or fucking, you know, having a little party here and there, or letting go a little, or having some escapism or some shit. I guarantee you that's what he fucking means. And it's just like, hey, guess what? You know, that isn't necessarily, you know, the fucking problem. Maybe it is, you know, a lot of the fucking roots and societal natures of things. Like, maybe it's not, like, the weird, convoluted fucking bullshit story that you're trying to fucking sell, Peterson.
Constructing radical...
If anyone can actually even make sense of it.
To its very core, okay? He is just the most conservative motherfucker on the planet. It is ridiculous. He literally will strip conservatism to its bare bones and...
Sin, things authoritarians from 2,000 years ago considered bad. I know, it's just like, and honestly... I mean, I always say vice and sin because, like, that's just, you know, the stand-in for basically having, you know, for God forbid, having some fun. Like going to, you know, a sex bar, or, you know, fucking going to a opium den or some shit, or fucking, you know, just going to a regular pub, you know, or you know, having a night out with a friend and maybe getting a little, you know, giggity with it, you know, or some shit later that night, you know, shit like that. Like, I mean... It's just like, you know, what, just vice and sin, you know? It's like, that's pretty much, you know, all what it is. But, oh, it's meant to be seen as such a bad thing, which, honestly, it's, if anything, awesome. Like, having a little vice and sin in somebody's life, that means, oh, shit, they actually are a human being and might have some character in their life. Like, like, that's what I think. You know, so it's just like, wow, somebody with actual character and personality that actually lives a little... or lives a lot, like, wow, okay, amazing. So, it's like, I mean, that's what I think, at least. You know, because, fuck, you only live once, so, yeah, like, you know, throughout, you know, if you got a day to just say fuck it, yeah, fucking live a little. Like, Jesus Christ. Life's too fleeting, you know, to fucking, you know, be absolutely, like, you know, drenched in worry and angst and insecurity and shit, you know what I mean? Gotta live a little bit and just say fuck it. It's definitely something I have, you know, eventually have learned over time.
Like, he's telling you something entirely different. Like, nothing he's saying right now is any different than people who say, it's not the system's fault, it's your own. Pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Think about the evil in your own heart, okay? That's it. He can dance around that idea by using, you know, supposedly neutral language, like, you know, he'll use, like, academic language to basically sanitize what he's saying. But straight up, all he's doing is repackaging conservatives propaganda to you while establishing his intellectual prowess.
But the story that corruption exists in hierarchical structure and that that's a consequence of malevolence, the malevolent use of power and deceit, that's true. So it's very motivating, especially if you're young and you're looking for an adventure. Now,
It's so motivating. It's so motivating, but also at the same time, like, you know, you're not motivated, right? I mean, obviously they're not making any fucking change. You can't. I thought that it was liberating that you're basically not even fucking doing anything individually. You're not focusing on self-determination. You're not focusing on like individually bettering yourself and hyper-focusing on systemic problems, and you're shifting blame. You're abdicating responsibility away from yourself over to back to the system, right? But no, all of a sudden it's very motivating.
It's also too convenient, which is one of its tremendous dangers, because unless you're taught to look within and identify the malevolence there as the primary moral obligation, then you now have an excuse and a moral justification to take out.
Hi-ho, it's quote.
Moral justification. It sounds like he's describing Christianity and basically religious fundamentalists right there. It's like, because that's what they fucking do. That's what they do, Peterson. It's like, that's what your side tends to do a lot. They use a lot of random moral justifications for a lot of the actions that they do, which tend to be pretty abhorrent. So, like, I mean, who's really, you know, more willing to just, you know, like, use whatever type of fucking, like, moral opinions or moral views that they have to, you know, to just justify whatever actions that they name? It definitely does seem like the left. I mean, it's just like, yeah, I guess, you know, my morals do also kind of preclude that saying violence is okay to a certain degree when it comes to direct action and shit. But even then, that's different from, you know, a different leftist, you know, idea of what that means. I mean, last night's stream kind of shows that. So, I mean, it's not like, you know, even then there's, you know, similarities there. But, you know, at least for me, like, I know where, you know, to put that within reason. Like, I ain't gonna just be willy-nilly, just like, yeah, let's go all the way. All the way, baby. It's like, no, let's use our radical means, for sure, but, you know, let's not go all the way yet. That's caveat, yet. Because chances are, you know, if shit really doesn't actually change within, like, the next 5 to 10 years, then, yeah, it probably would just maybe, hopefully not, but probably need to get to that point.
Yeah, no, Jordan B. Peterson is actually a profound intellectual.
But honestly, I don't necessarily need fucking morals to justify that shit. I could just look at the actual, like, real world circumstances, what's fucking going on to have those fucking views.
Just quote mining and putting words in his mouth. And he's not just like a regular old conservative, also simultaneously happens to appear alongside conservatives exclusively.
Senate Manchin, opposite, the guy in our anti-abortion Democrat Bob Casey to support the bill. Huh. Well, hopefully they actually fucking, you know, do something about it. And actually USA, fucking get it done.
Goes on the Turning Point USA conservative platform, talks about how women in the workplace and like sexual liberation has been devastating for women, but like uses pussyfooting language, so you don't even actually understand like that he's literally saying that, or at least he always gives you an intellectual out by asking a question simply, or establishing multiple premises for you to arrive at that conclusion on your own without him actually ever, you know, fully saying it with his chest, or when he even fully does say it with his chest, he'll still leave you to
play some good cop, bad cop with Manchin. You should only play bad cop with him. Like, only the bad cop should ever come out of Manchin, honestly. As far as I'm concerned, if that worthless, filthy, fucking corporate fuck.
Depending on who you're arguing with. And also, on top of that, he's literally just a fucking oil lobbyist at this point. But, you know, he's far beyond my level of intellectual prowess, so I can't understand that he's just repeating oil lobbyist talking points to you.
Everything about you that's unexamined on the demonic enemy, and of course that degenerates with extraordinary.
Oh my god, I love how he has to always use like superstition, the supernatural, like spiritual words, like demonic, evil, blah blah blah, and also the bullshit. To try to fucking push this fucking ideas forward without necessarily being religious about it.
As we've seen over and over and over. So it's up to the centrists on both sides to deal with this. I've been talking to a lot of the optimist rationalist types on my podcast. One of the things we discussed consistently was the difficulty.
The optimist and rationalist types. What, you mean like your sycophants that basically just agree with you, every step of the way about shit?
The message that all three of these men are very aware of, which is that from a material perspective.
Even Ben Shapiro's like, I'm so fucking bored right now, I'm literally only putting you on here because it means clicks, okay? I can reach back to an audience and
this only means I could get some clicks. Like, I'm honestly now actually bored. Like, I was kind of revved up with Jordan, with fucking Ben Shapiro, but now at this point I'm like, oh.
And it'll pay
oh
dividends in
why'd
the future.
I do this?
Straight up, you can see it. He's just like, oh, this sucks, and it does suck. He's so boring. He's so fucking boring. That's the worst part about Jordan Peterson. It's not even the fact that his misinterpretation, It's
why he's better being in a goddamn coma, because at least he won't bore everybody to death.
Misinterpretation created significantly more transphobia in Canada. That wasn't even it. That wasn't the worst thing he did, in my opinion. It's just he is so fucking pathetically boring. Holy shit. The fact that all these fatherless stem cell fucking weirdos turn around and be like, look at this guy, what a prophet he is. Because they have never actually had a single fucking, just a single piece of interaction with the arts in any meaningful capacity before this fucking guy came in, that they think he's the god, he's just showing them the way.
Anyway, one of the things we discussed consistently was the
fucking weirdo who cries about Frozen, you know what I mean? He literally watches Frozen and cries.
Honestly, I'm surprised he hasn't cried yet. He usually cries in pretty much every fucking video he does now at this point.
The message that all three of these men are very aware of, which is that from a material perspective, in terms of absolute privation, humanity is way better off on virtually every dimension you could possibly measure than ever. And most of that improvement has occurred in the last 40 years, and it's been revolutionary.
I love how when people actually say that, they never actually give off any real statistical data that proves that, when realistically, it isn't. Especially when you put climate change into a major factor and a major role into that.
Russell Brand about this, and I'm bringing him up for a reason. He's a lefty by temperament and by heart, and his first objection...
Not really.
He's very thoughtful and quick.
He's just a fucking grifter.
His first objection, I pointed out all this data showing that by every possible objective measure, everything is way better than it was certainly 100 years ago, but certainly even 20 years ago.
Bro, this is so dumb. It's such a dumb argument, dude. Of course things are better, dude. There's exponential growth. Our living conditions have improved as a consequence of technological achievements that would happen regardless of whether or not we live in a capitalist or socialist organization of the economy that is completely devoid of the economic organization of society, okay? But that does not mean that things could be much, much better, okay?
Because honestly, if anything, there's actually been more negative impacts and more destructive consequences of a lot of these things, going on elsewhere around the world. Yeah, certain parts of the world get a little better, but, the rest of the world gets significantly more shittier because of it.
Halt progress.
That's why it's just whenever people are like, oh, things are actually legitimately improved, blah, blah, blah. It's oh, really? Are they? Okay, sure.
Okay, so what?
Let's just kind of forget, the rest of the world.
Now you know...
Because you live in a little
have
bubble.
At least some kind of ailment, right? If you have some kind of cure now, as opposed to 40, 50 years ago, when if you got shot in the leg, we didn't even know how to fucking tie it up, right? And you just immediately died. So what? Should you halt progress then? Should we not move further from the fucking Dark Ages, Middle Ages, whatever? It's so stupid.
And he said, well, what about disparity of distribution? So there's the problem of absolute level of wealth, let's say. That's improving. But there is still tremendous disparity. And of course, that is fair enough. You could even point out that the role of the left is to provide a conscientious voice that's constantly attending to the fact of continuing disparity regardless of absolute level of wealth. And fair enough, but having said all that,
could there be because there's legitimate elements of disparity going on in the world, especially when it comes to things like wealth and income inequality, and disparity when it comes to actually having a roof over your head and like having food on your plate, and you know, like there's a lot of fucking disparity that's going on, especially even in the U.S. even now. So,
that incremental optimism is not sufficiently motivating, and you can't just wish human nature is going to change. It's not going to change.
Well, how come it has in the, you know, since humanity's been a fucking thing? Like human nature in a lot of ways is kind of overridden like nature in many ways and still does. So it's like, yeah, human nature does fucking change. and it's like you're supposedly like a psychologist or some shit. It's like, get the fuck out of here. It's like, give me a break. So like, you can't change human nature. It's like, yeah, you can. I mean, and at the same time, it's just like, I mean, there's a lot of ability to fucking, you know, actually push, you know, for, you know, these type of, you know, ideas that, you know, more, you know, conscientious effort, you know, on his part, like, you know, to push that type of thing. That's how human nature does change over time, you know, in itself. I mean, it's just like the idea of things like contraception and things like condoms and shit, like that's, you know, like human nature, you know, being changed. Because we're overriding the nature to fucking have kids and shit when we have the urge to fuck. So it's just like, you know, that's one element of it. So it's like, what is this shit?
That's the Democratic line. Like, that's literally the Democratic Party. He's describing the Democratic Party.
Better story. And I also think that's why I'm a target, I think, is because I am actually trying to
Because you're a fucking idiot.
Better story, and I'm actually having some success with it.
So I totally agree with that, and that really does bring us...
Not really, but okay.
Folks should know about all of your books is that they are very intimate, very personal.
They're caca. They're terrible.
They're
you
lame.
Talk about yourself, but you also speak in a way that most writers do not. You use second-person pronouns. I mean, you speak directly to the reader. You say, you feel this way. You think this way. And a lot of people read that and say, I do think that way. This is a person who's speaking directly to me in a way that, you know, mainstream political books very often do not. They consider me sort of a widget in whatever ideology they're pushing, or they're considering the value of systems or not systems. But you sort of end around that. And I think that in many ways that's what members of the left find so threatening, is because if you're a member of the left and you believe that all individuals are essentially just the outgrowth...
you're describing a cult leader.
...of institutions, and therefore that all change by individuals is going to be insufficient, and that it must be societal change that creates individual change, you're a threat, because you're telling people, well, you know, the systems can certainly get better, but the main threat to you is you, and that is a deeply threatening message to people, and if people find...
No. Like, I mean... to change yourself, yeah, like you can be an advocate in changing yourself just as much in changing society. Like, this is not like some weird threat to the left or some shit. Like, what? I mean, there's nothing wrong with, you know, looking, you know, into your own self and having some introspective, you know, and being like, hey, you know, what should I do to improve my own life, or, you know, fix my own shit, you know, and or clean my own room, bucko, or whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that, but you can at the same time be a very staunch advocate for a lot of different societal change, because in a lot of ways, yeah, that can help, you know, for individual improvement too. Because if you have at least, you know, some sort of a basic standard of living in a society, it's a lot easier to improve yourself as an individual, you fucking idiot.
Leftists fucking
dumb fuck Shapiro.
Leftists love to live in filth, dude. Live in fucking piss and shit and filth. Now, of course, I say this, but, like, there are literally people in the chat who are like that, and, like, to you, I say, ew, stop living in caca and pee-pee, okay? Figure it out. Take a shower. Seriously, like, even in this community, which is, like, a leftist community, right? There are only, like, a couple incels who, yesterday, when we were talking about, like, you know, self-improvement and whatnot, that immediately stopped me and said, like, wait a minute, what do you mean self-improvement? Isn't that exactly like telling a poor person they too have the means to overcome capitalism. Like, they literally were just like, no, fuck self-improvement. Which, by the way, themselves, not leftists. Remember, they themselves are not actually leftists. They are fucking right-wingers. They're reactionary. So only in the mind of the reactionary does the leftist believe that, self-improvement is not something you can do.
Then the left really does have a problem, because if people start improving their lives within the system and not blaming the system for their problems, and instead recognizing that they can improve their lives, that's what members of the left hate most of all. You talk about in the book, Jordan, the fact that
you can literally have it both ways.
People are constantly coming up to you and they're saying things like, I was leading a dissolute life.
One thing that I think a lot of people get wrong, even sometimes leftists.
Oh my god, I literally blame society for all my issues. I lived a destitute life, but then I felt Ben Shapiro.
But definitely,
like, oh my
a lot of people in general get wrong because of the reactionary propaganda against it.
What sad little sob.
This notion that leftism is just about collectivism, okay? And it's not about individual liberties. You are missing the point. Even Karl Marx wrote about the individual liberties and a fulfilling life that every individual has, or the individual liberties that every single person should have. But we can only unlock these individual liberties, whether you want to, fish in the morning and write poetry at night, or fucking think about philosophy because you're a fucking nerd. Whatever the fuck you want. You can only achieve that future through collective action.
In your book, I started taking your advice, turned it around,
basically,
and now I'm doing much better in life. And I'm blessed to have much the same experience from a lot of people who listen to the show. People who have been homeless, who now graduated Harvard Law School, people who were single moms.
Okay, that's bullshit.
And then decided to take.
And the left fears them.
The left fears the idea of a homeless person graduating from Harvard. It's like bullshit. Like, source trust me, bro, on that. Like, oh my god.
The left fears a homeless person who just bought a house. This is something you can calculate, okay? It's called upward social mobility. Okay? The likelihood that you will be better off than your fucking parents. Okay? When you look at the United States of America right now.
Yeah, maybe back in the 70s that was something that you can actually have, but not anymore unless you're actually legitimately fucking lucky.
Mobility is literally worse than all of the other comparable OECD nations. Straight up. Not exactly a great pitch for the land of the free, where, everyone can pursue the American dream, right? Just like in the words of George Carlin,
Oh, meritocracy, where basically you have to literally, get lucky, you have to draw the fucking roulette wheel in order to get lucky and actually have some of that social mobility. Have fun.
The American dream is just a dream because you have to be asleep to experience it.
College course and figure out their lives, people who've made mistakes and
you have to be asleep to believe it.
Their mistakes around. And to me, those are inspirational stories. I think that because those inspirational stories exist, that I think is why people find you to be such a threat. It's because so many people are inspired by the stuff that you say and change their life individually without putting all of their ire and focus on a system that the left is mainly focused on tearing down.
I defy anyone to go read 10,000 comments on my YouTube channels.
Oh my god! Yeah, what do I get as a reward, bitch?
Why would anyone do that, dude? What a fucking freak! Oh no!
Not come away with a much refreshed view of human nature.
He's gonna cry. He's gonna cry.
He's gonna cry, bitch.
In the main.
Oh, he's about to fucking cry, dude. I was wondering when he was about to cry, and he's about to, bro.
Unbelievably positive, and not it.
Dog, that's a self-report, dude. If you have mostly positive comments under your YouTube section, that says more about you. You are where the evil is coming from then, okay?
Like, if anything, honestly, he's probably just deleting all the negative ones, or literally is purposely just reading the top comments or all the positive ones, and all the fucking, like, circle jerk fucking cum shot on the fucking face comments are all just gonna be upvoted and shit. Guarantee you that's what he's looking at. Like, I mean... oh my god. Oh my god, wow.
Any video.
What a
it could
sad
be like Baby
sob.
Shark do video. And there's people saying filthy ass shit underneath it. Those guys are literally pro you and anti everyone else. Okay?
In the naive sense, they're positive in a thoughtful sense, and in a communal sense, because the people who are making comments on the lectures are also commenting on each other. And there's ideological babble on both sides. I would say that's probably 5% of the comments.
No one in the history of the planet has ever been like, oh, you think I'm a bad guy? Well, read what my followers are saying about me in my YouTube comments.
And generally, I believe they're written by people who didn't actually watch the lecture because they're often out of context. But in any case, 95% of the comments are thoughtful, but also extremely positive, which is very rare in a social media comment landscape, which tends to
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's also pretty rare for your fucking videos too.
Be very, very toxic. And so I think that's absolutely
negative comments are toxic.
Great, and it certainly has that impact on me when I read it.
Having me comments is actually being very toxic.
By the way, the funniest thing about this is that, like, I have dealt with Jordan.
Oh, really? So you're being a snowflake XJW, aren't you there, then, Peterson?
Neckbeards on the planet. I mean, they're in here sometimes. Like, every time I bring up Jordan Peterson, there used to be a time when they would just, like, come in to be like, dude, you're taking him out of context, you're taking him out of context, you're taking him out of context, you're taking him out of context. It's so annoying.
In the media attacks,
it's as if really he never had context to begin with.
They're not just directed towards me. Well, first they're directed to who they think I am, so that's kind of interesting to begin with. But more than directed to me...
No, I think they know who they are.
And more perniciously is that they're directed to those who are hypothetically following me. I don't regard myself as someone with followers. I regard myself as someone with viewers, listeners, and readers. But in any case, my typical follower, so goes the story, is a disaffected, angry, young, white male. And for a while, I, in some sense, pushed back against that and said, well, my audience is about 70% male, but YouTube skews male, so that's perhaps part of the reason. And I see...
It's not 70, he's lying. It's 90. Just saying.
No evidence that it's particularly limited.
It definitely skews male.
Especially when I see lecture crowds and when I meet people on the street. But then I started to realize that that was the wrong response. The right response is, why does it disturb you so much that there's a group of people who, by your own admission, are disaffected and angry and alienated and young, and I'm helping them? And why is that exactly a problem?
It's actually more like you're fucking manipulating them, because that's actually, you know, a fucking problem. Because you're not actually giving them any sense of actual, like, help and direction. You're just fucking, you know, putting them on some weird fucking conservative religio babble fucking path of nonsense.
Anybody, bro. Like, you're not. You're literally reinforcing conservative values within...
I mean, if anything, you're part of the problem, Peterson.
To that. You first,
you're not helping.
On one hand, feed them self-help bullshit that, unfortunately... You know what the thing is that's different about Jordan Peterson, actually, I'll admit it. I think, like, a lot of the self-help stuff is just, like... There's a lot of self-help out there that's, like, catering specifically towards women. But there hasn't been, like, self-help outside of, like, I'm not going to say, like, outside of the capitalist framework, because Jordan Peterson's a capitalist, too, obviously. But, like, a lot of the self-help that is for men is very much, like, how to make more money in the workplace type things, right? Jordan Peterson, on the other hand, is doing, like, the exact same kind of, like, bullshit self-help without, like, redirecting it to the gym or redirecting it to, like, how to make more money and you know, or 3, how to get bitches.
What is it that I'm supposed to be doing with them? Just out of curiosity. What do you think? If you had your druthers, would I ignore them? Would no one talk to them? Is that actually what you want? Well, the answer seems quite clear.
I love how it's like always some weird absolutist crazy fucking hyperbole. It's like, oh, so if you don't want me helping them, it's like yeah, we don't. It's like, oh, so you want them to have like no ear and nobody to actually listen to them and help them? And is that it? Yeah. It's like, literally no. So like, because we actually would rather have them get some genuine, legitimate fucking help instead of some weird fucking psychobabble bullshit that you're fucking spewing, you dipshit.
Held forth because there's this implicit assumption in all of this critique that in my very active aid, I'm doing something immoral. Immoral enough to be parodied, let's say, as Red Skull. So just what the hell's going on here? It's like, why is that now fodder for parody or slander? Precisely. I mean, do you debate the fact that I'm
because you're an idiot?
Well, you go read the comments yourself and see what you think.
Well, they're a bunch of idiots too.
Why are they responding positively? Why do they come to my lectures?
Because they're idiots.
Political lectures even, which is very surprising, right? Just what the hell are men doing at a biblical lecture, especially young men, especially when they could go do anything else.
Because, I don't know, a lot of men tend to be dorks and nerds like me that tend to be into weird shit like that. Like politics and philosophy.
Like, what are they doing coming to this lecture? Well,
you're a cult leader.
If the patriarchy is an evil tyranny, then the appropriate attitude towards any male ambition is to not treat it as ambition, but to treat it as nascent drive to tyrannical power, which is certainly what Foucault would recommend, for example, or Derrida, because it's all power. And so if you see some young man trying to stand up and better himself in any dimension, you're not going to trust that. You're going to identify that as the manifestation of tyrannical power.
Yeah, totally, dude. That's so right. Leftists are always doing this. Leftists are like, oh wow, you're bettering yourself? That's disgusting. Foucault would say, Foucault and Derrida would say that that's a manifestation of power and therefore incorrect and wrong. Isn't that right, fellas? I mean, we're always...
It's like, hey, self-improvement, gross, lame. How dare you actually do that? Be real leftists and just live in squalor and filth. Like, this is what, like, I swear, like, so many conservatives actually unironically think this, and it's like, are we serious? Like, what, just because you're leftist, suddenly, like, you immediately live in, like, the most squalorous of fucking filth? It's just like, then what are, like, all these weird, like, literal trailer park hillbilly, like, southern backwater motherfucker types and shit that live in the South? I mean, there's plenty of them.
Chat says, like,
but hey, I guess, you know, do they not count?
It's on, you know. You've encouraged me to lead a healthier, more positive life. Lost like 30 pounds or whatever. Everyone's always like, yo, fuck you, dude, you fucking piece of shit. Imagine trying to improve yourself and like working out every day. Fucking fuck you, dude.
Piece of shit.
Fucking idiot.
That's actually like working out and having self-improvement.
Opposite.
And clearly,
that's bullshit. Stop doing that.
If the patriarchy is a malevolent tyrant, then any sign of the desire to contribute to it should be at minimum not encouraged, but more subtly criticized and discouraged at every possible opportunity. And that's our culture.
Oh my god. Well, that was pain. Our culture is, you know, just being aggressive and attacking everything in the institution. It's like, I wish it was. Not exactly, but I wish. But, I mean, you just like to spew the same fucking conservative Republican talking points, just flowered up in different ways so it sounds a little more neutral or some shit. Like you're some sort of an enlightened centrist or some garbage. It's like, ugh. Gross. Aww. Rolled up in a little ball. So cute. I need to set that chair up again so it can be rolled up in a little ball in that. But, it's not really too much else. Heard noise outside, but it's actually Dad. Thought it would have been neighbor or some shit. Surprised Zukov ain't boofing. You're not boofing, Zukov? Or are you just that lazy and tired about it? Hey, buddy. Come here. Hey. Hello. Hello, baby. Come here. Hey, sweet boy. Hey, sweet baby. Come here. Come here. Zukov. Come here, baby. Zukov, bye-bye. Come here. Come here. Come here. Zukov. Oh, you goofy baby. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Zukov. I'll come over there and pick you up. Come here. Come here. Come here. I'm coming. I'm coming for you. Oh my god, you lazy bones. Oh. What the hell's this? Oh my god. Oh my god, you heavy boy. Oh. Oh. Oh, you big heavy loaf. Oh. Oh, you big heavy loaf, you. Oh, look at you. Oh. You sweet baby. Oh. You tired little thing. You just all tired. Oh. Oh, you sweet baby. I could take a nap of him just chilling right here. Oh. Oh, you sweet baby. Oh. Oh, you big baby. You sweet little goof. Ugh. Oh. You goofy little baby. I mean, you just really like compact yourself in a big old ball, haven't you? Oh. You just really go a big old ball. Became big old little ball you has. Little croissant of Doge. Oh, you see, baby. Well, he's knocked the fuck out. He's about to fucking make my arm go sleep. Oh, you see, baby. Bruh. 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 Like, this needs to, like, really change here, dude. It's getting annoying. You got, like, this whole, like, neck and arm, like, a whole arm and a head, like, all up on my arm. Oh, you big baby fluff. Oh. 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 Yeah. There you go. You just kind of figure it out from there. Oh, you see, baby. Oh. She's all just like, what the fuck? Oh. Oh, you sweet baby. Oh. He's all frustrated because he can't get a spot. Goofball. You just want to be all comfy. Oh, you big old lapdog, you. You big ball of lapdogness. And you just want to go to bed, huh? You still need to take a poop, though. Oh boy, that's gonna be fun to deal with. Oh. Look at you. You're a goof. Man, you are just knocked the fuck out. Oh my goodness. Well, might as well actually get this last bowl smoked up and make a little bit of food and call it good, because, I mean, this little boy's just kind of knocked the fuck out. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little sleepy too. And you're just exacerbating it, because I kind of want to take a nap with you on here. Oh, you sweet baby. You sweet little baby. Oh. All knocked out as you is. Look at you. Just murked his Zoid out. You little sweet baby. Goofy little ear. Your little ears are so floppy. These are so cute. You gotta stop being so cute. Anyway, call it good for the rest of this little evening. Get myself some food for the lovely evening and all that fun stuff, so peace out. And of course, I'll be back around for the next one, so